So within the header section, we would typically expect to find a logo, a company name, and then maybe a search option and maybe some login details. With HTML5, the way we can actually manipulate logos has changed. Many websites these days are actually using responsive web design with their web pages, which means that the web page actually adapts to the screen that it's being viewed on. So if you want to implement responsive web design on your web page, a responsive logo may be an option for you. To actually do this, we use the picture tag. This is going to replace the img tag that we are used to, but only if you're looking for a responsive image. If the picture that you want to display isn't going to be responsive, then you should continue to use the img tag. So within the picture tag, we're going to set the source. And we're going to use the media tag to actually define the rules when each picture should be displayed. So in this case, we're going to set a max width of 700 pixels. And then we're going to specify a default picture. So if we refresh this header page, we can see that we have picture 1 displaying now, and if we actually drag this down and resize it, oh, we missed the bracket there. If we refresh this now and actually resize it, you can see that the picture is changing as we resize the page. So this might be very useful for you if you're designing your website to be viewable on both desktop PCs as well as mobile phones or tablets, because it allows you to actually fundamentally change the structure of your web page depending on the actual device that's being used to view the page. So when it comes to the company name, not a whole lot has been changed when it comes to text, and so there's not much to really say about it. A lot of the changes come in the form of CSS, which we're not covering within this tutorial. With search, however, we do have a new input type specifically designed for searching. We'll go into more detail about this in our forms section. In terms of appearance, it's not a huge difference to the normal search box that you would be used to. But as I say, we'll go into it more later on. Finally, we would expect to see some sort of login or logout account management options. The biggest change when it comes to account management settings is the fact that button is now an element of its own, instead of only being a type within the input option. You can still use the input option. And you can of course still use the submit option. But with HTML5 giving you native ability to use buttons, using buttons has actually become easier. So all you need to do to use buttons is to use the type equals either submit button or reset. In this case we're using submit. And we're going to use search as our actual name for the button. We're going to remove this one. So if we refresh this page now, you can see that we get this search button. So now that we've covered most of the common elements that you'd expect to find within a header section, we're going to move over to navigation. So stay tuned for the next video. We can right click now and we've got our new menu options. If we right click outside of our application, however, we don't have these options.